Another thought that I had while you were talking is that I don't suffer from the mental illness that most of the world seems to, where I think there's a pervasive psychological disorder where people want to do things their way. They want to do it their way. I don't need to do anything my way. I want to do it the best way. So if he can show me a better grappling technique than I currently have, I'd be so grateful for that. That doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't hurt my it gives me zero negative emotions. I literally just feel like a gratitude or appreciation, like, oh, like, thank you for taking the time that, you just took a well above genius level IQ and half of your lifetime that you spent learning this, beating literally all the other best people in the world, that it's, I mean, it's just hard to argue he's not the best grappler in the world ever. So, thank you for taking the time to share some of that wisdom, to banish a bit of my ignorance or a bit of my naivety and show me a better way to do something. Thank you so much. It never hurts my feelings to learn a better way to do something. So many people are addicted. They want to do it. I want to do it my way. I'm going to do it my way, bro. I don't want to do anything my way. I want to do it the best way. So I want to be around other people that are better than me at various things. I have total confidence. I'm good enough and significant enough and hardworking enough, and will continue to be that way, that I feel very comfortable that I could contribute in whatever environment I'm in. I'm going to find a way to be able to contribute. So it doesn't make me feel diminished or small or something, of like, if I'm around people that are better than me at something, sweet. I'll find a way to, I'll be not only welcome in the room, but respected in that room. And I'll find a way to contribute that they'll be happy to have me around. So I'd love to be around people that are better at things that I care about. So I could be better at those things that I care about. And, we'll evolve and do it together, So I think it's a terrible illness to, don't be worried about doing nothing your way. Is there a better way? If your enemy could teach you a better way, you'd probably be wise to pay attention to that, So, well, I don't like that guy, but I did learn this from him,
And I think that, the harsh reality is that greatness requires routine, and routine means you're going to have to miss out on a lot of fun stuff that you want to do. Vacations, family gatherings. I've been in so many fights with my mom over not going to Christmas lunches and dinners because I'm like, John, there's training today. And John says it perfectly. The Fourth of July, most people have take off, or they go out. John's like, do you think they're celebrating 4th of July in Russia right now? He's like, I doubt it. He's like, these people are training and you're not. So I think that anything that you do that you're trying to be great at requires a routine and a pretty boring life. And so, when I started doing this, and, I was missing all the fun, parties or whatever the case is with my friends, and losing friendships sometimes because we just weren't aligned in our goals. I always thought to myself, would I rather just bust my ass now and work till I'm 40 and then just do whatever I want for the rest of my life, or just work half-ass for the rest of my life and have to work until I'm dead? So I was like, you know what, I may as well, put in the time now, so that, when I do retire, and obviously when I retire from competing, I'm still gonna work, but it'll be at my leisure. It won't be because I have to work to eat or to survive. And so I when you think about it like that, it's a pretty easy choice, I think. I don't want to be working till I'm 70, 80 years old. I want to work as hard as I can while I can, and then when I retire, I could just do whatever I want with whoever I want and work as I want to.
I love prosperity every day. I spend money every day. You consume resources. Your HOA fees are due and your taxes are due, and you have food and other expenditures and resource consumption every day. So why should I not be producing resources every day? Why should I not be doing something productive? All that matters is your productivity towards goals. There's nothing that really matters. It's like the number one thought that any man should have is that, how could I be better? What else could I do? What else could I do? Like that's all. What else? Like, especially if somebody in their 20s or 30s, like, what would she be thinking about? A balanced life. Wouldn't you love it if all your future competition is like their primary goal in their life is like more balance? That'd be so sweet.
Well, when I see the competitors like on the beach surfing and like just finish a training session, I'm like, this is awesome.
I feel that way in different ways. Where like sometimes when I really don't want to do something, when I'm very fatigued. Usually has to do with sleep. You know, when I have those type of emotional state, it means like I haven't slept for 5 days. You know, I slept 3 to 5 hours for 5 days, and then I feel very fatigued, and then your brain's like, you know, how about we just sleep, dude? How about we go get some sleep and do better tomorrow? And if something's on the schedule, I'm just like, no, I'm going to do the thing. You know that. He knows me for over a decade. Like, if something's on the schedule, I'm going to do the thing before I sleep. We got things to do. So, but when I feel that, you know, I'm just like, God, this sucks. Like, what is wrong with you? And I'm still doing the thing, but I'm doing the thing, and I'm a little like, you know, having some of those psychological moments with myself. And the thing that always turns that around is I like, you know what? If you feel like this and you don't feel like doing the thing, nobody else is doing these things. Nobody else is behaving this way. And that just turns my psychology around just like that. Be like, makes it much easier to lift weights at 6 a.m. when you haven't gone to sleep yet, but you didn't get your workout in earlier because some things came up. So things come up in my life all the time, but I'll do the thing before I go to sleep. And other pussies will go to sleep and make an excuse. Then they'll do some more pussy shit tomorrow. And I don't do that. I never missed a training session. You ask anybody that you see me train, I've never missed one MMA session. I've never missed one.
I believe it.
I've never missed one. In 40 months, 200 days a year. I've never missed one. Ever. Not because I had a fever, not because I had an injury, never.
The best part is I was, John Jones asked me to stay for the rest of his camp. And I had a training session with him. And I was like, hey. And I already knew the answer. I'm like, do you think we could reschedule this? And he's like, show up. I was like, okay, I'll be there.
You know, I really did the math in my head, and I tried to not be selfish about that. And I thought, what is the right thing for Gordon? And I was like, if Gordon doesn't come, I'm not going to be happy with Gordon, and it's not going to make my life easier to do something with him in the future, because I'm very unforgiving about that type of thing. Then I thought, well, that's one aspect. Is John Jones more valuable to your future than I am? And then I laughed. So, and nothing against John Jones. But is John Jones more valuable to, who could help your future more, me or John Jones? And then I just laughed about it. And then I'm just like, no, come. Go back there go train him later.
So it worked out. John won, so I can't complain.
You and I may have different goals. I spent most of my life thinking about financial success, about financial freedom, about having enough resources to live my life exactly how I wanted to. Gordon spent a lot of his life, he wanted to be the best in the world. The best in the world wasn't enough, eh? Ever. Whatever goal you may have, whatever your goal may be, I want you to be able to gather the resources to go earn that for yourself. And it's not going to happen accidentally. You don't see skyscrapers being built accidentally. You don't see these fancy, silly watches, some AP watches. You got a whole bunch, you got a whole collection of Rolex presidents over there.
Paid for by Felipe Pena.
I only got these couple APs. You might not need 4 premium Rolex watches, or even a bunch of APs. What you do need is enough resources to live your life the way you'd like. I want you to have enough resources, enough financial freedom to be the man you want to be a good provider for your family, to be a good protector, to be able to take care of the things that are important in your life. Join us on Monday, December 1st, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to walk you through the structure that you're going to need to get from where you are now to where you want to be. And we're going to answer your specific questions to get you past the next hurdle and the next hurdle along that path between here and your best self, your greatest success. Choose to conquer.